friend and fellow adventurer. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to your Explore Your Story adventure. If you are new to my channel, hi, you are so welcome here. My name is Gill D'achada and I am leading us all on a spiritual adventure at the moment called Explore Your Story. If you'd like to know more about that, I have put the relevant blog post links in the description box below so you can go along and have a look at that. And for all you regular adventurers who meet me here every week, please do be aware that there are corresponding blog posts that go with the videos, and I put the links to those in the description box below, so go along and just click on them. It'll take you straight there. Another little admin thing I'd like to mention at this stage is if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, or you're not in the habit of giving these videos a thumbs up, please would you go ahead and do that, because these things all matter a lot to YouTube. Thank you. Today I want to bring up an issue that you will have read about in my book, and it's what I call a transfer of allegiance. I'm sure you would have read in chapter 3, I think it was, where I say that when I approached my parents with the knowledge that I now had that there was a God who had created everything, and I kind of challenged them and said, why didn't you ever tell me this before? Because even as a 7-year-old child, I knew that this was the most important information in the world, right? So I asked them, why didn't you ever tell me this? Why would you withhold this from me? And their response was, well, they're not sure that it's true. Basically, really didn't think it was true and didn't think it was all that important anyway. And I then had to make up my mind about where my allegiance was going to lie. Was my allegiance going to continue to lie with my parents and what they said, or was it going to lie with this new information that I'd got? And in my heart I was so convinced, and I was so convinced as to the truth of what I had heard. God by His Spirit was convincing me in my inner being that God is. And I actually think I entitled that chapter, whoever wants to see God must believe that He is. And yeah, God is. And so my allegiance was transferred. I continue to love my parents a lot, even more than before, because now the love of God was shed abroad in my heart. I had a new way of loving them. I had a new reason to love them. I loved them through God's heart and mind, but my allegiance was transferred. So I say that in chapter 3 of my story. I say these words: right there and then my allegiance was transferred. There was a transfer of belief. Okay, there was an understanding that came to my mind that said, these people I love, but they are not the carriers of truth. God is, and I believe Him, and I trust Him more than them. I trust Him completely because He has the truth. He has told me the truth. He has shared the truth with me. We trust people who are truthful with us, isn't it so? We don't trust someone who lies to us. We don't trust someone who has wrong information or deliberately gives us false information or inadvertently gives us incorrect information. There's a level where we can't trust them completely, but I realized that I could trust God, and I transferred my allegiance to Him. I realized that He was the one that I must follow. He's the one that I must believe. And I think that is very, very important in every life. And I know I'm speaking to fellow believers here, but I do encounter this amongst believers, where there hasn't been that transfer of allegiance, where that hasn't actually taken place, or not fully. It's like you're caught faltering between two opinions, as it says, and that just gets you nowhere. That actually just gets you straight to hell. It's the worst place to be. Sooner or later, you actually just have to make up your mind who you're going to believe and what the truth is. And there are far too many Christians who are faltering between two opinions, wavering between two opinions. One foot on the narrow way and the other foot who knows where. And we can't go on like that. You just have to. Even if you have to take 3 days off work, lock yourself away until you come out of your room, you are convinced that you know where the truth lies, what the truth is, and what you can put your faith, your trust, and your belief in, and then transfer your allegiance to that and keep going on from there. because it's a bit of a deception. I won't even say a bit of a deception. It's a massive deception to think that you can actually walk in both of those ways. You can have a little bit of doubting what the truth is and a little bit of walking in the Christian way. You can't. If you are walking there, I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but if you're walking there, you're actually not on the narrow way. And that's why things are going bad with you and going difficult with you. You've got to make up your mind and put your allegiance there. You know, I'm really interested to hear from you guys about that moment in your story. Please share with us about that moment in your story where you had that realization of the transfer of allegiance. Or maybe you're one of those people who realizes now that transfer of allegiance has not yet fully, properly taken place. Share with us, and you know, we'll pray with you and discuss that through with you. I love the story of Jesus in Matthew 6:24 when he's talking to his followers. He's talking to them about money, but he gives us a principle there, which is just so true for the Christian life. And basically he says, no one can serve two masters, right? No one. So there's preachers that say, everybody say with me, no one. So I want to say to you guys, everybody say with me, no one. No one. Not you, not me, not the guy in the pew across the way there who thinks he can. No one can serve two masters, for he'll either hate the one and love the other one, or he'll respect the one and hold to the one, and he'll despise the other one. And then he goes on to say, well, you can't serve God and mammon, and I want to talk to you about that in a few minutes, something very interesting about that. But really, it's true, isn't it? No one can serve two masters. So I think this week we're going to just get real with ourselves. We're going to decide which master is it that we're going to serve. Who do we really believe? And if we're going to believe God and the Bible, then let us believe it with everything in ourselves. I just want to end with a quick little story about this no one can serve God and mammon thing. Many years ago, I was busy getting ready to go in to see a client. I was freelancing at that stage, and I had to go in to see a client, and I was so super spiritual. You know, I didn't want to do anything like that. I didn't want to do any kind of work like that. All I wanted to do was just sit around and pray and read the Bible and do all those good things. But I was getting ready for work, and I had to get in my old car, which wasn't going very well, and get into town somehow, find parking, you know, all that shit was a schlep. And I said to the Lord, I'm only doing this for money. And he came back to me and said, what? Please don't ever work for money. Mammon, he says, is another God. So I said, well, what do you mean? Mammon's another God? What do you mean Mammon's another God? Of course I wouldn't do this work if I didn't need money. I wouldn't do anything like this if I didn't need money. What am I supposed to do if I don't work for money? And he said to me, don't ever work for money. It's a competing and an opposing God. You must work for me. And I'm like, okay, I'll work for you. Then what, how do I work for you and still go in and see these clients? And he said, you go, you work for these people. And this is your heart and your mindset when you go in there. You say to me, Lord, I want to bless these people. I want to make them look good in front of their superiors. I want this ad campaign that I'm working on for them to be so fruitful and so wow that it brings acclaim to them. Because those ladies that I was doing the freelance work for, they were all fellow believers. They were sisters in the Lord. And the Lord said to me, pray this for them and go and do this work. And this is the work I'm giving you to do. To bless them, to make them look good in front of their bosses, and to be fruitful. It's not about money. I'll give you money. So I'm like, okay. And I prayed about that campaign. Do you know, it was the most successful campaign. These were the literal words that they used to me. They said, we are so blessed. It's such a beautiful campaign. Everybody loves it. We have been commended. We were called up in front of the bosses and commended on this. So thank you for the work that you did to us. And that, my friend, is how you work for God, but also earn money at the same time. You go in there. You ask God to make you a blessing. You pray. And in this way, any work that you do, it doesn't matter what it is, becomes holy and sanctified unto the Lord. And it's as the Bible says, do all things as unto the Lord. So when you work with this spirit, my friend, it blesses you, it blesses others, it becomes an offering unto the Lord, and you are not serving this opposing God called Mammon, who is a nasty fellow. Let me tell you, Mammon promises much and delivers little. And Mammon builds you up and then drops you down. It's nasty. So you don't want to work for mammon. You only want to work for Jesus, right? Okay, I'm going to see you next time. It's been amazing. I love you so much. Avante.